All right. So, everyone, welcome to the second annual Global Osmocosm Conference. We are delighted to have you here. We have a lot of people to thank for this event. This is our first time doing it in person as well as on Zoom. Last year was, of course, the pandemic. And the Osmocosm Conference is about the world of molecules around us, about the world that we can sense through our sense of scent, and the power that that understanding can bring to humanity. First and foremost, I want to thank the co-organizers of this event. This is a labor of love by everyone involved. Everyone is a volunteer, and we're supported by very generous donations by leaders in the field, such as Aromics, who are here represented by Dr. Ilya Kolb, who will give a speech later. And they're involved in the olfactory and flavor sciences via expressing cells with olfactory receptors on them. We also have fantastic sponsorships by Tunable, which is a company that has created a device that can smell greenhouse gases and other gases with a very large several micron-sized infrared window, and they actually have brought their prototype here. They will talk about it, and we can actually also see it. We're also sponsored by Bowman's and Togas and the University of Pretoria to bring here students from other countries who want to participate in the olfaction technology conference, as well as the moot court competition, where we're going to have two teams argue a moot case that hasn't happened yet in front of actual judges and discuss the laws around olfactory technologies. So I want to thank the organizing committee, who you will find here in various forms, but they are, and please raise your hands so people can see who you are. Carolina Sulic here, our vice president. Dimitri Ioannidis, who just disappeared somewhere, but he's here. Nikhil Lyle, who's also here. Taras Cutter, M. Doherty, Mia Bonardi, Chris Rose, Michael Benson, and Lyndon Gladhill. These are the co-founders and are the co-organizers of this, and I'm eternally thankful to them. They've put their love, their energy, their time into this thing to make it a success for all of us. So, to tell you a little bit about how this Osmocosm idea came about, I want to very quickly give you a whirlwind tour of my presence here at MIT. For the last 18 years, I've been researching olfactory technologies, and the Osmocosm Public Benefit Foundation is a 501c3 Massachusetts-registered charity, and our mission is to elevate all boats olfaction. Whether you're a technologist, an artist, a designer, a scientist, an entrepreneur, a financier, or a lawyer who is interested in the future where we can smell each other just as well as we can see each other, and all the AI and other technologies that will come to bear, including all the sensors that Professor Paradiso will talk to us about in a minute. If you want to be ahead of what's going to happen, we need to also understand the legal framework. So that's why we have this moot court competition, which is Dimitri's idea and a fantastic event. So my lab has been it changed direction abruptly when in 2004 I read for me it was more like 2005, but in 2004 there was a paper that was published in the British Medical Journal that showed that a trained dog could do better at diagnosing bladder cancer than any hospital test, both earlier and more accurately. And it could also generalize. After being trained on urine from bladder cancer, it could generalize to other cancers that did not have any identical volatiles. That shook me to my core. It meant that the dog can do something that no analytical test can do, and it can outdo all hospitals. It shook me to my core because it meant that there is something out there that is very big, very powerful, very available if you have the right sensors, but currently the right sensors are buried inside of dog and other animals. If we could make this technology available to our cell phones, smartphones, sensors, IoT, connected devices, etc., the world suddenly starts looking very different. So to that end, much research has gone into other projects that always feed back into olfaction. And you will see this with this conference. We have people that are going to talk also about things that are peripheral to olfaction, or at first glance even not related at all. But in my experience, it's very keenly related because they've all been part of the same ecosystem. And people are seeing now that integration of directions of research is important. So this is an overview of the work that has been happening in my group that I call the MIT Label-Free Research Group. And as you see, I've made this slide so that there's no boundaries. This is to terrify the academics, because in academia we love defining nature by chemistry, biology, physics, and having boundaries between those fields. But in reality, nature is not like this. It's all big one. So we've done things such as create biosolar photovoltaics, which means stabilizing photosynthetic proteins on electronic circuits. You'd think that that has nothing to do with noses, but in fact, the technology that went into stabilizing photosystem 1 is the same technology that goes into stabilizing olfactory receptors on top of field effect transistors. So in one case, we're making nanoforks, which means we can make solar power out of grass clippings. With the same technology, we make electronic noses. In both cases, we have a stabilized biocomponent that is sitting there sort of alive, doing the work for you. In many other things that we've done, including generating energy and sensing fires directly out of trees, whole genome transplantation, 3D printing of lattices where we can put stem cells, including olfactory stem cells on, creating the world's first practical and wearable pain detector, many other things. So people always ask me, what does your group specialize in? Well, we do specialize, and we specialize in not. That means not specializing. It is actually quite hard. The instinct, as soon as you master something, is to keep doing more and more of it, and to learn to stop doing more and more of the same thing and force yourself to learn something new takes some effort. So one of the many things that are coming out of here is, this is work by a previous postdoc that I had, who was, again, a pluripotent individual, like many of us here. He didn't do just one thing. Philippos Tourlamoussis created a 3D printer for stem cells, and nowadays, you know, you can rip off your entire olfactory epithelium, your own olfactory epithelium, and be able to raise those cells inside of matrices into various organs. That is where the research is going. So that is how the connection to olfaction is there. Here, as you can see, a trained dog that has been trained to diagnose prostate cancer from urine being tested. So the third vial, I don't even have to tell you, you'll see it's quite obvious. The third vial is the one that comes with urine from a person suffering from prostate cancer. The dog picks it up, no problem. And we have the GCMS to show it. This became a company called Sentient, and the CEO of this company will speak at this conference later this week. We sent a rocket into low orbit to create drugs in space, and as far as I know, we were the first ones to do it. And we have, of course, the trained dogs that can detect disease has been a very big story. Those were the inspirations to building noses such as this one, which is about the size of this podium, and this was built for DARPA, for the United States government. And then over the years, we've shrunk this, smaller and smaller it gets, and now it can actually fit in your cell phone. This is the last slide I will show, and I want you to pay attention to this as it's looping around. This is an artist's impression of what I think a dog basically sees with their nose. As you're walking around, you're leaving behind you, where you step, behind you like a trail, like a wedding gown, you're leaving a trail of molecules that can be mined for information that is absolutely essential to understanding your physical and mental health state. As you also breathe out, this was not shown in this very well. Here, you can kind of see it a little bit on the bottom one. There's also a big plume ahead of you, which has to do with your breath. The amount of information that is mineable out of those two signals, the trail of molecules you leave behind that are just shedded out of your body naturally, and also the exhaled molecules, is incredible. So imagine being able to diagnose disease, physical, mental health states, etc., including things that are very, very sensitive. Everybody probably agrees that it's a good idea to be able to just diagnose COVID or other such airborne pandemics so that we can define the boundaries, we can respond quickly, we can see if an intervention is working, things like that. If everybody has a cell phone that can tell you whether you or someone you pointed to has COVID, that sounds like we can live with it. That sounds like a good idea. How about instead of COVID, it's now cancer or Parkinson's? It starts getting very iffy. What if it's epilepsy or diabetic shock warning? Oh, now it's really great. We really want this. What if it's pregnancy, now that we've almost criminalized unwanted pregnancies? Or what if now somebody can point a phone at you and know if you're pregnant, what sex you're carrying, who the dad is? Things like this are available to the noses that are trained out there. That world is coming, and to get ahead of it, we are looking into the laws, the litigators, the legislators, the lawmakers, the professors, and we have actual judges coming here to adjudicate a competition that will get us closer to understanding what does this future look like for us and what can we do. I will finish with this. This is a famous quote by Alexander Graham Bell, who said, if you want to find a new science, measure a smell. I used to battle this quote a lot, used to say that, no, this is not nonsense, the smell is easier, you don't need a new science. Then I went back saying, oh my God, smell is a complete mystery. It does need a new science, and now I'm somewhere in between. We definitely have holes in our understanding of olfaction, but it's getting there. It's the fastest growing field of neuroscience, which might be the fastest growing field of science, apart from data science, if you think that's something. And just as a test for me, raise your hand if you know what that is. Yes, only the people who are old enough to know what that is. How about now? Okay, of course.